Hi everyone. This video is going to be a little different. It's not a tutorial, it's just like an overview for this new thing that I'm showing you in this screen, POPs. So POPs, or points operators, are TouchDesigner's new operator family designed for modern GPU accelerator workflow. And it's like, what is that, Paula? It's shaders. GLSL is amazing. It's my things, like POPs, amazing. And they combine the best feature of subs, chops, and tops, but go beyond them in speed and easy of use. Since they run almost entirely on the GPU, they're fast and optimized for performance. And the cool thing with POPs, you can create complex procedural systems without needed to write any code. And if you do work with computer shaders, POPs are also great for organizing and processing data before or after you custom shaders. And they just released the experimental version, so you need to know that maybe in the future they're going to change a few things, maybe not. So right now it's like an exploration how we can create things. So how you can have access to this? You can go to the website here, and in the top right we have this Get In Now. You press it, go down, we have this experimental area, and you press experimental downloads. And when you do that, we have access to this experimental. You have for Windows and Mac version. But the important thing is here in the release note, you press here and you're going to have information about this wiki and everything. But the important thing is this, the POPs samples package. When you press that, you're going to have access to a folder, and the folder is this one. These examples. You have a lot of things, but depends on how you're going to do this journey of learning is how you can do it. What I'm trying to say is it's like we can start with the overview, but I prefer go to the POP guide, and you're going to see this. Going to close this. You're going to see this window. And here you're going to have to here to the left, like it's like the operator snippets where you can select, for example, analyze. You're going to have this example, and then going to explain you what analyze does, and here the explanation of the example. But at the same time, here in the left, you're going to have this button, show network. When I press it, we're going to the network, how you create this. So for example, for me as a designer, I need to see using examples. So for me, it's like, oh, we have cache, I can check that, what happened with fill, and go to the show network and try to understand, reading obviously the explanation and see how this works. And for example, if I like this and I want to understand much better what is the lookup texture or fill or math mix, it's like, okay, I can copy this project and a new thing, and then I try to figure it out. So for me, it's like, okay, I understand, I like this, I want to do something else with this. So in that moment, I'm going to close this. In that moment, you go to the overview. The overview is here. You open this and you're going to have access to all of this thing. This is like everything. So if you want to learn or understand more deeply about some operators, you go in here. For example, here we have generators. We go inside and they're going to give you an explanation. Sometimes it's big explanation, others not, but a lot of examples about what happened here. Or attributes, we go here and they explain you everything, how you're going to manage everything. Here, for example, we have lines, how manage line information. So the family is about points, you can have access to this, for example. Position X, Y, and Z, direction. So, for example, we have many normals, many information that we can use for transform, modify, or whatever you want for your creations. So yeah, if you create something, try to, for example, it's like revolve is very nice. It's like if you want more information about a specific thing, you go here. So yeah, so I'm going to share with you this. We can check a few things. So for example, in the past, because top pop is a mix between sub, chops, and tops, it's like, okay, for example, in the past, I'm going to create a torus. I need to rotate this, so I'm going to add that transform, 90 degrees, and then I add a twist, because I want to twist this, and then, I don't know, a noise. And then we connect this one to a geometry, always camera, light, then we need a render. We're going to paint the background, and we have a null. And name it how we want. So in the past, we create this. Okay, but remember the subs, they are running in the CPU, so it's not the best option. So I'm going to no render, just the geometry. So what happened now? We can go to pops, and we have our totals. Yes, we have totals. And we can add a transform if you want. We have transform, but the cool thing, they add the option here in the right in the parameters, the translate, so that is nice. Or rotation, so I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees. We can do the same, twist. And I'm going to rotate the same, 190. And we can add a noise. With a noise, would be ABS time, that's seconds, multiply so that 1, maybe more 5. And again, the cool thing, geometry is the same. It's the same structure. You don't need to create nothing crazy, just that. But the cool thing, this is running in the GPU, so it's much better. So I'm going to disable this. We don't need it. And again, we can continue adding, if you want, a material, a font, and we can paint this. Nice. So it's the same logic. Nothing changed. It's just how these operators, they are created, GPU. But I think the most important is particles, because you need to think this is just points. And what I try to say is we can go to palettes. They have this new category, pops. And when we do that, we have render and viewer. So I'm going to drag this viewer. And I can drag, for example, this noise. And we can have, this is a tool just for understand we are moving points right now. The position, all of this. And this is important. This point viewer, I've been working in this, and because this is just experimental. When I use particles and I put, I don't know, 10,000 or 100,000, the point viewer is it's not good for performance, so try to not use it for complex things. But for simple thing, for example, a shape like this, a surface, is okay. I'm going to delete this. So, for example, when we work with points or particles, we can go here and we can create point generator. With point generator, I'm going to move this to here. The point generator is like immediately we have points, we have particles. We don't need to use instancing. We don't need to use maybe in sub particles. we have this. And for example, I'm going to select here here we have the parameters. I'm going to use, again, a torus. And I'm going to change the side from the inside, like this preview. And the cool thing, now we can create a twist. And I can add the same number, 190, and we have the same shape. And I can create a noise, or I can copy this noise, copy and paste, print here, paste. We have particles with just using this point generator. So that is cool. And we have a few tools that they are very nice for particles. And I'm going to paint this white. And for example, option 1, we have this point generator. If I go to noise and I press the middle mouse, I can have access to this information. We have 3 points attributes. P will be position, so will be X, Y, and Z. N for normals, and noise. Okay? But we can transform these to particles if you want. Particles here. And I can put more bit rate. And the cool thing, we have the same position, the same shape, the same surface. But right now we have more attributes. Right now you can see here we have position, noise, path age, particles drag, particles force. So we have more spawn, mass, velocity. And the cool thing with these attributes, we can, for example, add a noise to not just the position, maybe the age. For example, if you go to this noise, what I try to say is, we are taking this P is like we're taking the position of the points, and in output, we take the noise and we add the noise to the position. That is the reason that the shape is moving. So the cool thing is, maybe we can change, we can have access, for example, I don't know, age, things happening. It's like we adding this noise to a specific things. Obviously nothing happened here, but try to understand that now you have access. It's like when you use the instancing, you have access to translate, rotate, scale. Now you have more access to specific things for this specific element. In this case, will be particles. And the cool thing at the same time, and the past, for add color, we need to create a material, add color here, or ramp, or maybe here in the post-processing. But the cool thing, now we have this look texture, and I can create a ramp, but in texture, I'm going to create a null, and I'm going to add, this will be red, and I can drag this null to top. So it's like, I want this, I'm going to delete all of these elements, and the output attribute will be, I want color. Let me see what happened. So I applying this element to these points. But here is like, give me maybe the color will be connected maybe for the X position, so you can see there, for the Y position, or this C position to the noise. So it's like, for example, what is this? I'm taking this noise and taking this information and applying this noise, this position, to the color. So that is cool. It's like we have more option how we're going to apply the color. We have for age, we have, I don't know, drag. We have many, many options. I'm going to use the noise. So depending on the noise, I'm going to apply the color. I don't know. Okay, something like that. But the cool thing too is I'm going to use not too many, just going to see what happened. Not too many particles. I'm going to change this, maybe 100 star. And we have these amazing trails. Don't worry, needs to think a little bit. Let me check what's going on. Disable the particles. And the thing is, the particles sometimes is creating. It's like the points have age, so that sometimes the trail have problem. But the cool thing, we can disable this. We take the point generator, we twist, we have the noise, we had color, and we add these lines. I'm going to change again, not too many, so you can see what's going on. We create these lines. We can change longer. And we can add, for example, another noise. We can add, I'm going to copy the semi-code or line of code. So we can add animation to these lines. We can add maybe more crazy things. So yeah, we can create crazy things using noise, not static. Yeah, the cool thing with the trail is that it's very easy. I'm running almost 60 frames per second, and I'm recording this 4K, so the computer is more happy doing this. Maybe in the past, what we need to do for a trail, maybe a specific shader, or maybe duplicate, maybe instancing, but this is easier, and the performance is very nice. So yeah, that is cool. And another thing that I'm going to show you that I like a lot, that I'm working a lot with this, is line. In the past, it's like the line was a line boring. But the cool thing we have here, we have points. So for example, I'm going to create another line, and I'm going to move this to the center and left. And in the setup, we can select Q. I'm not good with say the curve or curva in Spanish, but we can create crazy things. For example, we have weird things. I'm going to create, we have that, or maybe, okay, cardinal. I'm going to add another, and this will be here. And the cool thing, we have revolve. Revolve is like duplicated that line and create like, I don't know, different things. And with the revolve, I'm going to connect this to here. We need to add a transform because we move the position to the down. Maybe I can change the scale. And the cool thing with this is like in the revolve, we can go to just, I want the rows, or I just want the columns. I'm going to use the columns, and we can add divisions. And again, here we can add noise. And I'm going to animate this, ABS time, that seconds, multiply 0.1, and we move this, and obviously we can control how we want to move this. We create weird things, and again, we can create here a look texture, and I'm going to copy this, paste. And we can bring this, add this to color. We paint this, obviously we can change to what, maybe in the Y position. And we can play with many things if you want. Or we can apply it to the noise. So you can see how this moving is how the noise is going to, sorry, the color is going to apply. So that is cool too. Oh, again, we can go to the revolve, change to rows. And we create weird thing. But the cool thing, you can go to the line and change, maybe animate this. It's like maybe breathing and back. We can create a LFO. LFO. And create weird things here. Or we can create. And the cool thing, the performance is very fast and nice. We can do the same maybe for other, I don't know, I'm just playing around this. Maybe for this knot. Maybe, I don't know, this one. Or again, for the Y position, you can create weird things happen. And yeah, and you have a lot of things that you need to check. Try to understand what happened with the attributes, how you manage that to apply it to many things. And again, you can go to here to the examples. And again, you have example for other artists. Simon, Peter, we have particles, ELSL. You can play with the Gaussian splat. That is like the new point clouds for, I don't know, if you take picture, a video, and then you can the video transform to points. And with points, you can upload that in TouchDesigner and do whatever you want. You have, remember, the overview and the pop guide that help you a lot to understand what happened. And right now, I don't have all the answer how create things. Now it's just exploring. I've been exploring for a few months. Sorry. But yeah, I think right now we are all in the same page. Try to understand how create, modify, and do things with this. And I know that a lot of creators right now, because this is creators, they are creating specific custom tools. So that will be very nice how apply and fusion many things and see what happen. But the cool thing for me, if you ask me, I think how play with particles. I think this is very nice. It's like help me a lot how I can create things and see what happens. Like, oh, believe me, in the past, took me time. I know that I explain a lot, but right now it's like I can create whatever I want. So yeah, so I hope you like the video. Just go to TouchDesigner, download the new the experimental version, download the effects, and I hope your journey learning this new family will be nice, not stressful, I hope. And so I hope you like this video. And if you have any visual that, I don't know, try to share. And I would like to see what you are been working, creating using this tool. So yeah, so see you in the next video. Bye.